Welcome back to my channel, Midnight Makes. I talk about knitting, crochet, cross stitch, whatever other crafty thing I happen to be up to. Today's episode is Flosstube, where I talk about cross stitch, and this will be an update of what I cross stitched in February. And I just realized I forgot a project. Hang on. Okay, now I have everything and I'm ready. Okay. So I have a couple finishes, and the first finish I have is my old-timey gas pump. You put a book behind it so we can see. I haven't ironed. I meant to have this fully finished. It didn't happen. But this is a kit from DMC that I got at Joann's. I started it on the 1st of January, and I actually finished this before January ended. I just haven't updated my Flosstube. My next finish is also unironed and folded terribly, and that is Coffin Buzz. It's a freebie from Plum Street Samplers. It's a few years ago. There's more that's supposed to go under here. I opted not to stitch it, and I used just a DMC, and this is an 18 count hand dyed, and I do not remember what color I used for this DMC. Did I write it down on my notebook? No, I did not. I don't know what color that is. But I'm glad to finally have this done. This has been a whip for way too long, so I'm glad that it's done. Next is my last finish, and this is a freebie from Heretic Designs. It's over on, she is over on Instagram. I'll link her below, and this is just a freebie that she posted on her Instagram, and I used a variegated DMC for this, and this is a 14 count opalescent Ada. My brain's not working today. I don't know if, whoa, the light. Okay, let's see if maybe you can see the sparkle. And this says, "Don't obey in advance." And this is a quote from On Tyranny, which is a book by, I forgot his name. It's a book of essays by Timothy Snyder. And it's on, the book of essays is on fascism in the world. I highly recommend the book. I messed up when I was cutting, and I have very little margin on this side, which really doesn't matter. I know how I'm going to finish this off, so it'll be fine. So that is all of my finishes. So for works in progress, the first work I have is Hell, and this is a design by Thread Geeks. I'll put where I was last time I showed it, and I started the month at 4,676 stitches and 22.91%, and then I ended the month with 6,026 stitches complete and 29.52% done. I'm slowly plucking away at this one. I absolutely love her. When I was working on it, I worked a little bit in the background. I think I might have done some on her face. I don't really remember. It's been a little bit since I've worked on this one. But I'm trying to work on her every month. I would like to have her done at some point. Okay, and my next project is Visit the Shire, and this is a design by Country Magic Stitch. And my son and I, a couple weekends ago, decided to binge watch the Hobbit movies. And while doing that, I decided to work on this one. And I need to put... So it is still in the Q-snap. I've taken this one off because I did work down here. I've done some in the sky. I worked down here on the Hobbit hole some, and this was the pathway. And then I started over here on the, there's a big tree on top of the thing. I'm forgetting. I will post where I was before. Hopefully I will have posted it already. But this is the first time I've picked it up, and I'm sitting now at 7,804 stitches complete at 34.64% done. I love the Country Magic Stitch visit posters, and I actually have another one to show. But I'm loving this sky. Thankfully, the majority of the sky is done because part of the reason why I had put it down before was just the fact that there is so much of the sky. I'm kind of tired of working in those two colors, but what can you do? It'll be gorgeous when it's done. That is not how you put a Q-snap on. I will fix that later. So my next project is a pattern that I made myself. So I back in beginning of February, my shoulder was acting up. I have a repetitive strain injury in my shoulder blade, and cross stitching tends to flare it up, and I happened to be in one of those flare-ups. So I decided to make a little pattern. I have a dachshund. I guess she's been up there the whole time. Anyways, I have a dachshund, and we live in Alaska, so forget-me-not flowers are a thing. So I came up with this design and turned it into a cross stitch and started it. And I got in, dang it, gotta keep remembering to put my book up. I got in, let's see, 1,360 stitches. It's at 4.34%, and it's just a lot of background color. And I would have gone further, but this color right here, I didn't have, and it took me a little bit to find it in town. I finally found it, got started on that color, and I'm trying to work out that. I've forgotten to mention all of my projects except for the old-timey gas pump and the don't obey in advance are all done on 18 count. My two that I showed already, full coverage, Visit the Shire and Hell, are both full cross. I have decided, though, I'm going to start switching my new full coverage starts to 10 stitch or half cross, because I have so many full coverages that I want to do that I need to cut down on the time, and obviously full coverage takes less time. So this is 10 stitch, and because the colors are light, you can see my grid lines. I use water soluble pen to grid my fabric. It'll go away. But yeah, that's all half cross. And like I said, I am gonna transition over to half cross just because it's quicker. It takes half the time. And hopefully that means I will finish more full coverages. So, and I have not been talking about my needle minders. Dang it. I will do that next time. I apologize. My next project is Eat the Rich. And obviously, if you haven't if you couldn't tell from Don't Obey in advance. And this one, I've been into craftivism, activism through crafting. And these two are my little pieces that I'm putting in. $2,297 stitches done at 77.16% complete. And I am working purely on this color right here. That is the fill-in. I've done all the other colors. All I have to do is fill in the brown on the bear, and I only have like 680 stitches. I need to finish this because it will not take me very long, and it's one of those things where I can stitch it anywhere because I'm just filling in. So as long as I put it in the open spots, I know what I'm doing. This is 14 count opalescent Ada from Michaels. It's actually the same that this came out of, which you can see the square where I cut it out. And I actually have enough that I'm going to be able to put a couple more, and I have other kind of activism through crafting patterns that I plan to do. So that's Eat the Rich. I don't remember the designer's name. I got it off of Etsy. I'll stick it right here. And I'll link it below. I will link all the patterns below if they're available, if I can link them. Okay, and my next new start, which obviously this has been a month of new starts. So I decided, my son and I started re-watching Doctor Who, and because we have not seen the new Doctor yet. The last Doctor we saw was the Lady Doctor. So we're rewatching before we get to season 13. This is a rewatch for me. This is the first time my son's ever seen the older ones. He's seen the Lady Doctor, but none of the ones beforehand. So while I was stitching it, I decided to start Travel by TARDIS by Country Magic Stitch. And I got started on it. This is another 18 count self-graded, and another, dang it, forgot my book. Another half cross. And I got to 946 stitches, which is 4.2% of the pattern. I was trying to work on stitching this while we were watching episodes, and I did for the first couple episodes, and then I was working on other projects, knitting projects that I needed to finish for the rest. So, but I plan to get back to this as we watch the seasons. We're almost finished with season 2, I believe. Yes, we are, because we're the first season of David Tennant. So we're gonna get back to work on this. I can't wait. There's a moon here. Obviously there's gonna be a big TARDIS. I love it. I love all the things that I make, of course. So that's what I'm working on. My next project is another kind of craftivism type thing. I was kind of upset last Friday after events, and I wanted to support a Ukrainian designer and start a Ukrainian style pattern. So I went on Etsy, filtered it by Ukrainian designers, and I found this beautiful geometric pattern in Ukrainian colors. The designer's Less Magic. I actually bought a couple of her patterns, but this is the one that I decided to start. So I started it on, dang it, keep forgetting. I started it on Friday, and I worked on it over the weekend. I absolutely love it. I love these colors. together. I'm absolutely loving it. This is almost out. There's a little bit more. There's a blue part right here, and the center motif is completely done. But I love this, and like I said, I wanted to support a Ukrainian designer and also stitch something that gave off Ukrainian vibes. And I love the colors and the geometricness, and beautiful. So that is all I've worked on in February. So that's all I've got today. Cross stitch wise, I will be back in a month to do another Flosstube update with what I stitched in March. And I'm hoping to get a couple finishes. I would really like to finish the Eat the Rich and this Ukrainian one. And I have projects that I plan to work on. Obviously the TARDIS is going to get work. I want to keep putting stitches every month into Hell. I don't know what else will get worked on. I'm sure Visit the Shire will eventually get worked on when my son and I decide to binge watch the Lord of the Rings movies. We haven't gotten there yet. But yes, that's all I've got today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.